At some point, 13 young ladies from a school called Halio went to their yearly 3-day camp. This year, the breeze was oddly cold and the sky was dull. The young ladies shuddered in their van, which had moved down windows. "I feel like someone is going to have misfortune," said Pitta, raising her little green sack and attempting to sit taller in her seat so she could see farther like different young ladies. "No doubt, me as well," concurred Stephanie, glancing around. "Please, folks, we're here as of now," Anna H. said. She got her purplish sack and drove the others out of the vehicle. They all cut down their tent packs and some necessities they could convey down with them. At that point, they started to put their things down. "We additionally have to move our stuff in before lunch," said Anna S. "This is an unfortunate day," said Meow in her typical emotional way. "Friday the 13th. Also, there are 13 of us." "No doubt," Ing concurred, checking her telephone. "I let you know," Meow answered. Everyone swarmed around Ing to see the date on the screen. With bleak articulations, they saw that she was correct. "Goodness, gone ahead folks." "That is only a conviction," said Anya, yet she sounded uncertain. A few young ladies looked on worriedly. "All right folks, we can go play first and afterward set up the tent," said Anna H. "I'll go with Sophia to get some stuff from the vehicle," Pitta said. "I brought a great deal of stuff for our tent, so we'll begin now." She put her sacks down and went with Sophia to the van. The young ladies split up. Ing, Mimi, Anna S. and Anna H. went to the lake. Anya, Bryony, Meow, and Stephanie went to the woods. Kim and Anis and Ava went to the cafeteria to get something. Anya and Bryony climbed the plants in the backwoods. Unexpectedly Sophia ran towards them, shouting, "Folks! You have to get out of here!" she hollered. "Why?" Bryony yelled. "Pitta was killed by someone. They were taking cover behind the van seats." "Was it a kid or young lady?" shouted Stephanie. "I don't have a clue, however, I believe they're coming," Sophia replied. Rush. There was a wash and someone tossed a blade from behind her. It struck her through the chest. Sophia shouted and fell, uncovering the trickling handle. Stephanie ran as quickly as possible over the field with the others. She took a gander at the killer to see her personality, however, she was unable to look so long, since she was being pursued by the killer. Run. As she ran, Meow was resolved to discover the executioner's character. Contradicting her scared nature, she ran more gradually than she definitely should have. But she unmistakably disparaged the killer's aptitudes. As she pivoted, the edge zoomed past Stephanie's face and hit Meow. She tumbled down. Anya shouted and everybody ran quicker, perceiving how great the killer was at tossing things. At that point, they understood the killer was no more. They quit, panting for breath. "Goodness, no," said Bryony, seeing the two Anna's dead bodies. "Stand by," yelled Anya. "For what reason are they dead here?" Bryony glared. "That means she was here," acknowledged Stephanie. "Watch out," shouted Bryony, yet it was past the point of no return. Two sharp edges sunk into Stephanie and Anya. "Ah!" Bryony shouted and ran quicker. Bryony ran on for her life, pondering where different young ladies were. Clearly, Singing and Mimi weren't with Anna S. and Anna H., since she would have seen their carcasses. Bryony arrived at the bamboo backwoods. She spotted Ing Ing holing up behind a bunch of bamboos with Mimi. Their eyes enlarged. Bryony looked behind her. The killer raised her blade. Bryony courageously chose to enable her companions, regardless of whether she realized she would bite the dust. She just figured out how to mouth, "Cover up," before she got hit by the blade and shouted as she tumbled down. Ing Ing and Mimi remained as still as conceivable as the killer glanced around. The two of them wished as hard as they could that they were mixed in with the trees. At that point Ing's hair blew against the leaves, making a stirring sound. "Aha!" yelled the killer in a peculiarly recognizable voice. A voice perceived by most youngsters at Halio. The killer raised her blade and Mimi and Ing ran. The killer pointed toward Ing yet missed and hit Mimi. Mimi fell dead on the ground. Ing found an impasse, encircled by a thick, prickly backwoods and a tall solid divider. In the event that she ran into the backwoods, she would kick the bucket from taking a lot of time. Ing surpassed the killer by around 30 long seconds, which was sufficient opportunity to prepare to pass on, however insufficient to get away from the long divider and the thick wood. "Ing!" yelled Kim, as she ran towards her. The blade hit Ing. "Ah!" she shouted and tumbled down. "What's going on?" yelled Anis. "Leave," Kim said. "I'm helping you." Anis persisted. The killer snuck up behind her and wounded Anis. She shouted and fell. "No," shouted Kim. She confronted the murderer. "Ha ha ha ha," snickered the killer. She pivoted and confronted Kim menacingly. She lifted a blade triumphantly and flung it at Kim. Kim dodged and it hit a tree. "Ah!" she shouted. Kim threatened to use the blade out and hit the killer with it. "No!" screeched the killer. Kim was resolved to discover what their identity was. In any case, the killer clutched their veil and tossed the blade legitimately at Kim. Kim shouted as it hit her. As the killer was losing quality, Kim saw the cover beginning to slip. The killer was making an honest effort to keep the cover on. She fell to the floor. Kim was resolved to discover what her identity was. This was her last possibility. The killer was likewise decided not to tell anybody her character. She moaned and hung on. Yet, the killer lost her strength. She fell and the veil dropped off. Kim likewise tumbled down. Before she was gone, by and large, she saw the killer's face. Padma. Asterisk then she imploded. Asterisk Padma was their school's head educator. Meow Potterusht has been drawing since she was 3 years of age and her number one thing to paint with is watercolor. She was conceived in Bangkok, Thailand. She gets a kick out of the chance to watch YouTube and now she lives in Hua Hin, Thailand, with her folks and sister.